Dear Excellencies, distinguished colleagues and honored members, when we confront mass human rights violations, especially those from conflict or oppressive regimes, our utmost aim must be to ensure that these atrocities are never repeated. We are not merely seeking for justice for the past. We are laying the foundations for a peaceful and sustainable future, one where societies can overcome the scars of the violence, oppression, and where justice is finally served to its victims. This is not only a moral imperative, but also a critical step toward fostering genuine democracies, because transitional justice cannot be separated from democratic enhancement. Time and again, we speak of young people as drivers of tomorrow's democracies, empowered to shape the future. Yet, when it comes to confronting the weight of the past injustices, particularly the legacies of violence and inherited hatred, youth are too often sidelined or misused. This paradox is glaring. Young people are heralded as the leaders of tomorrow, yet they are excluded from the very conversation that will shape their futures. Here, the role of youth organizations in transitional justice becomes indispensable. These organizations ensure that the voices and perspectives of young people are integrated into the policies and strategies shaping their future. In many cases, the mission of these organizations extends to educating young people about the history that has been deliberately concealed from them. The most effective way to secure youth place in any reform process is not just to involve them as subjects of discussion, but to seat them at the table as equal participants. Let me go a step further. We must also listen to them, treat them as equals, and most importantly, recognize their immense capacity to lead. When young people step forward to lead, we must clear the path for them to do so. The younger generations deserve to inherit peace, not deep divisions and painful conflicts of the past, battles they did not fight nor fully witness. Since the wars of the 90s, young people in the Balkans have started speaking out against the injustices committed in their name. These injustices were committed before they were even born, or when they were too young to remember, like me. Their resistance to dominant narratives and historical revisionism has sparked hope across the region, and it's still the biggest source of hope for many neighboring countries. In Serbia, where the glorification of convicted war criminals undermines the very essence of justice, it erases the impact of judicial verdicts and distorts the rule of law for political ends. In Serbia, we see men with blood on their hands being portrayed as role models by some of the highest representatives of the institutions. Speaking about the past that you didn't experience or witness is not an easy task. Thus, we all must stand with those young people who do so, because they are protecting the core of humanity. Still, they're also combating intergenerational trauma, which is a real thing, and we are still combating to understand the importance of trauma-informed education. Human rights organizations working to address this painful past are often met with hostility. Young activists are labeled as traitors, especially in Serbia, where nationalism has become a potent political weapon. In Serbia, we speak about women's rights, but we neglect victims of sexual violence in war. We don't even recognize them in front of the law. We advocate for diversity. We say that diversity is something that we cherish as a country. But still, when mass denial of the crimes against the others is being introduced, many of the people in Serbia stay silent. Today, as we gather here, Serbia is witnessing a remarkable youth-led movement demanding justice and accountability. For nearly 4 months, students have stood resolute in their fight, not just to fight for their own future, but for the future of their whole country. They are not seeking the future abroad. They are fighting to rebuild their own country based on democratic principle, fairness, and justice. These young people have shown that resilience and hope can transcend divisions and hatred. They are no longer marginalized. They are the architects of their own future. And this is the example we should all strive for. These young people who are currently on the streets of Serbia have faced unimaginable challenges. They are uniting for a common cause, peace, justice, but as well reconciliation. With the right support, they are dismantling the walls of ethnic division and building bridges of understanding. In conclusion, we must recognize that young people are not mere participants in the peace-building process. They should be also the leaders. Let us not exclude them from the conversations that will shape their future. Let's protect them and empower them to lead with courage, wisdom, and vision, but also to empower them to speak the truth that is deeply rooted in the court-established facts. Thank you.